guys, so on today's segment, what we're going to be doing is talking about complexion. And I'm going to be sharing with you tips and tricks and product that you can use along with tools and the different benefits in using them. So I've already prepped my skin and you guys can go ahead and see that video prior to. I've also done my brows and I've opted to do more of a beauty driven brow, which is more of an everyday. It's kind of what I do when I go to work or when I go grocery shopping. Sometimes. If I give myself enough time, then that's what I'm willing to sit here and do. Now, let's talk about tools, right? So there's quite an array of tools. You have your classic like foundation brush, and this one's really great. It's flat, so it gives you a lot of coverage all at once. This one's really great and ideal for foundations that are a little bit more gel-based, or if they're water-based and you want to go ahead and build up the coverage, a flat foundation brush is going to go ahead and give you that. I personally still love to use flat foundation brushes. I'm kind of old school in that regard. Then you also have a foundation brush. This one's by Urban Decay and it's an optical blurring brush. This one's actually rounded, so anything that is round is going to give you the ability to go ahead and blend the foundation all at once. So this is really ideal for foundations that are more water-based, that have a little bit of give and movement, because it shears out the foundation. And so the idea is that you would use a circular motion as you're buffing it in. It's giving you that medium, like sheer to medium coverage, and just perfecting this. This one's like literally foolproof. Like you really can't, you know, mess it up. Then you have a stippling brush. So this one is also ideal. Most companies, the way that they have these set up is that it's either or. One side is natural bristles, the other side is synthetic, and so what it does is the synthetic, the longer pieces actually stipple, so it moves the product around the face. Then the bottom bristles actually help to buff it into the skin, so this one also gives you a very airbrushed, flawless look. Many brands go ahead and have these. This one by Urban is cruelty-free and vegan, so this one's all synthetic. And then you have something that's a little bit more of a luxury. These are the Artiste brushes. So this one's limited edition, but the Artiste brushes, this one's really fantastic. It's kind of like a hodgepodge, like a mixture of these two together gives you this one. This one's the Oval 8, I believe. And this one's really ideal because it's, as you're buffing it on, you end up using a lot less product because it helps to pull and stretch the foundation. And in less than, in like 2 minutes, your foundation is done. So there's different versions of this. I know Max sells one. There's some that are available at like your local beauty supply store, which are kind of like a generic version. And then I've seen online quite a few different versions of this brush. And so Artiste was the original. And again, whatever is comfortable for you is what you can use. And what I would suggest. And then the last tool that people are using is more of your beauty blender. This one is by Real Techniques. It's actually kind of my favorite. I'm between Beauty Blender and then the Real Techniques. This one's $5 and change. And your Beauty Blender is like 20. So for those that are on a budget, I've actually been able to find these. I know that Ulta sells them. Maybe Sephora, I'm not sure. Target, Target always gets me, so I'm at Target regularly. I've gotten these. They sell a pack 2 for $10. Woohoo! But I got the 1 for $5, so we'll roll with that. So I'm gonna show you the difference in the two, like being able to use a tool and then being able to use your beauty blender or your sponge. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've already done prepping my skin. We're gonna go in with primer. And so I'm actually going to be using strobing primer from Black Up, and this one's actually a brand new product that I've actually was introduced to by my girlfriend Pepper, and she's amazing. So the idea behind this primer is that Black Up is a brand that was designed for women of color, and so the idea is that when they're hydrating as a person of color, sometimes moisturizers can make you look like you're greasy or shiny, and this primer actually is designed to give you the benefits of a candlelit type of skin, but it has a matte finish. So it's not going to let the natural oils of the skin peek through, but it's gonna make the skin look super, super soft. And it comes in a gold color, which is more ideal for somebody that's a deeper skin tone. So I like to bring my primer, I like to press it into the skin and then also bring it down into the neck. And the foundation that I'll be using is the Black Up, and then this one's the Full Coverage Cream. You don't really need a lot of product. I'm going to show you why. So we'll do a little dollop, as you can see. And then this color, if anybody's wondering, is the HCO2, so I'm in that family. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a classic foundation brush. This is what I do like. This one is a gel-based formula, so you don't want to use anything that's too round. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the center of the face. And something that you don't want to do is use too much product all at once. Like, I like to work in washes of color, so it's almost like layers. So a little bit goes a long way. As you can see, this one's providing the coverage, and I literally use the smallest amount. And again, flat brushes give you more coverage all at once. So as you can see, I'm stretching the product. I'm gonna put some underneath the brow here. And then I want to say that this foundation is also waterproof. So, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know. So this is, as you can see, like perfected skin, or at least on this end. Most people, where they do need the coverage, literally is usually in the center of the face, and sometimes that has to do with broken capillaries, which means that you get that redness. If there's rosacea, which is a skin condition, like, you'll usually be flushed like around the cheeks. So it just really depends, but a little bit goes a long way. So as you can see, I started here, pulled it down. We're pretty much done on this end. Now I'm going to show you how my brother pretty much taught me. His name is Heath. You can follow him at Heath Chanel on Instagram. It's pretty amazing. He's been in the industry for a hell of a lot longer than I have. I just really appreciate this man. So what he does, he grabs his sponge, and actually it's almost like a dry brush technique. So you can pull from your foundation, and literally you're just pulling from the edge here. And you're gonna start by just pressing this into the skin. And this technique, I noticed, actually makes the skin look like skin, and this is more ideal for doing photo shoots because it allows the texture of the skin to peek through. So you end up doing a lot less editing, filtering. That's what I mean by editing, filtering. You know, your pictures. You don't have to go on the Facetune. You don't have to sit here and, you know, I just know Facetune. And then there's like a Glam app or whatever. You don't have to go on those apps. But again, so I'm picking up a little bit of product and just pressing it into the skin. Only, you know, you can put this all over if you just wanted to even out the tone. But you end up using such little product. It's pretty dope. I'm going to bring this down along the jawline here. And this also is faster. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I don't have to conceal, but if you wanted to, you can. So this is the part where you can use concealer. This one's a little bit lighter, but if you wanted to brighten, actually we're not going to use concealer because this is more everyday. So now we're going to move on to powder. I'm going to go ahead and powder the face. So some people like to use a translucent powder, which means that it's a powder that is colorless. and there's quite a few of them. I like to use more of a pressed powder. So the one that I'm using is True Match, and this is W7 because I'm a lot more tan. I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly dust this across the face. And so for this, we're gonna use our powder brush. Pick up some product and just lightly dust it across the forehead. That's usually where I get really shiny, is my forehead and my nose. And I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly bring product. So the way that I like to pick up is I like to use the edge as opposed to the head. So pick up my product and then I buff this across the face. So I'm not picking up my brush, now I am, but usually you just start off at one area and bring it across and it shears out product or powder, a little bit underneath here. And there's quite a few different products that you can use. I know that if it's a pressed powder, you can use a pressed foundation as a powder. You can use a finishing powder as a powder. Finishing powders usually have less coverage, so it's just really more to make you matte. And you know, options, you have options. And so now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a little bit of dimension and depth into the face. And so I'm gonna use a darker powder. This one's the True Match in W8. Their version of how they identify color, warm is more yellow. Then they have C, which is more cool, more pink. And then N, I believe, is more neutral for them. You know, every brand is different, so kind of do your research. So now, I'm gonna pick this guy up and I'm just gonna warm up the edge a little bit here. And excuse me as I'm peeling. So I like to just go ahead and, in terms of contouring, like for men, everything has to be a little bit more square because square is considered masculine. For women, oval is considered feminine and ideal. So now we're gonna move down to the cheeks. Most people like to contour from the hollow down to the eye. And so you would start here and then buff up. That would make the face more oval. I'm gonna do it where I'm gonna create a little bit more of a 5 o'clock shadow and make the face a little bit more masculine, but I'll show you the difference in the two. So, with contour and buff up, this is what you typically see most beauty gurus kind of do. And for me, when I go out, if I go out, I literally will bring this down. So there's the difference in the two. Like this one gives you that fullness, makes the face look more square. This one actually makes the face look more oval, which brings up the cheekbone. So then I'm gonna do a little bit of nose contouring. And so this is, if I wanted to go out, I would use a smaller brush. So something that is of these two, like a blending brush or like a dome shaped brush. But I mean, I'm not going for like, you know, we're just gonna go do groceries or Target. Target always gets me. So I'm just gonna run this down the side of the nose. And then too, the other thing too, I like to just dust this across the eyes. All right, so I'm gonna even this out here. Now, we can set. Most people like to use highlighters. So if I had to pick one, I would use Black Up, and then this one's in the number 1. And I'm just gonna do a little bit, I mean, just along the cheekbone. And I really appreciate this highlighter because it's not obnoxious. It literally looks like skin. And it's more gold, slightly deeper gold. And I'm using a angled brush. And then to set, I personally like to look super hydrated, very shiny. Again, I like my highlighter to be as shiny, like a beacon of hope, but because we're going grocery shopping, less hope, so less shine, more like skin is what we're going for. So I'm gonna use Chill, and This is a setting spray by Urban Decay, and so you want to go ahead and just spray this over the face. It's supposed to give you a 16-hour hold, 16-hour coverage. My little secret after you set is I like to come in with my powder brush and just press everything into the skin. So it allows you to see, like, if you need more highlight or you know, where you need more product or less. And so that rounds out our complexion, and this is more beauty driven. So we haven't even gotten into like really sculpting and carving the face, but this is more for like running around. What we used is we ended up using our foundation. So our primer is what we started off with, foundation. Then we did our powder, which was this guy. And to just bring everything full circle, we ended up doing a highlighter and then setting. So think about that, like prep, prime, perfect, finish, and set is kind of how you want to think about it. So those would be these steps to just kind of achieving everyday beautiful skin. So hope you guys like it. Let me know any thoughts or comments, like if you guys have any questions on additional product that you guys would like to see, or again, whatever questions you guys have, feel free to ask, leave them in the comments, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.